You know, there's just something about giant objects that grabs people's attention. If you blow something up bigger than it should be, a baseball bat, a coffee cup, a dollar bill, suddenly everybody's staring at it. Our brains can't help it. It's weird. It's different. It demands attention. And that's why I love something that I call the big bill. It's a 17-inch wide, oversized $100 bill that stops people dead in their tracks. You can use them at home shows, doorsteps. You can use them anywhere. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. I've got an example here. Here's a $1,000 bill. These are just samples. On the other side, I think it's what, a $2,370 bill. Here's a $44 bill. On the back of that, you can see there's a $44 tune-up offer. I've got one here for $88. Here's a $19 one. You can make them any denomination that you want. The idea, though, is going to act as a showstopper. And today, I'm going to show you 5 powerful ways to use the big bill to pull people in, to start conversations, and to make your marketing absolutely impossible to ignore. My name is Rich Harshaw. I'm the founder and CEO of Level 10 Contractor. We help remodeling contractors generate 200 to 500 leads per month through powerhouse marketing. That can be websites, SEO, pay-per-click, paid and organic social, OTT, CTV. Got 30 years of experience. I've got a book called Unlocking Unlimited Lead Flow. I've helped hundreds of contractors escape the feast or famine marketing. Okay, so let's jump right into the 5 ways to use the big bill in your marketing. So again, the big bill, like I said, it's these oversized dollar bills. I want you to think about how silly this is in terms of just how big and ridiculous it is. If you use it at a home show, you use it in door-to-door canvassing, wherever you want to use it, it's 17 inches by 7.3 inches, so 17 wide, 7.3 inches wide. That's the exact proportion of a dollar bill, but it's just blown up and it's bigger. It's gigantic. Now you can Photoshop, like I said earlier, you can Photoshop different amounts onto it depending on the offer. If it's an $88 tune-up, like I showed you a minute ago, $23.70, where's that one? Let me find the 20, yeah, there it is, $23.70. That was the energy savings that you were going to get from a certain type of window. That's where we came up with that one. You could do a $10,000 bill if you're giving away $10,000 sweepstakes at a home show or something like that. The big bill steals attention, and now it has this wacky number on it, and it's just going to catch people's eyes. They're thinking, wow, this is a big bill. Then they're thinking, what's this number? $23.70, and then they flip it over, and then, you know, when they flip it over, you're going to have a bunch of educational information about your company. Probably it's going to be identity-based, maybe an offer, maybe both. You definitely have enough space. It's a big bill. It's printed on thick cardstock. Well, I don't know if I'd call that cardstock or not. What do you call that? Can you hear that? It's got a little bit of give to it. And the reason is because I want to be able to take this and extend it kind of like this. I know that's blurry on the camera, but when I hand this to somebody like this, look at that reach it's giving me. Let me see if I can get this on screen. Okay, there you go. You can see that. Look at the reach it's giving me. So it's 17 inches past the end of my arm. My fingers hold, it's taking about 2 inches. There's about a 15-inch additional reach, and it's going to allow people to take it from you without feeling like you're intruding on their space, okay? So that's how the bill works. Like I said, it's rigid enough that it doesn't flop over like a normal piece of paper, and you can extend it out. That's the magic of this. So if you're at a home show or canvassing, you know, around job sites in your neighborhood, you've got a brand ambassador or something like that using it, you extend your arm out, it's gonna add another 15 inches, and it's gonna allow you to literally interrupt people without being too creepy and in their space. If they're walking past you, say at a home show, you can reach this out with this giant bill. Okay, so that's kind of how you use it. You know what it is now. What I want to do today is I want to give you 5 ways that you can use this big bill in your marketing. By the way, I'm just going to tell you this right now. There's a lot of marketing tactics. Everything that you do is situational. Sometimes it works, sometimes it won't. It works in this, then it quits working. All of these things are true in any kind of marketing, but I'm going to tell you something. This big bill, it just always works. It doesn't ever not work. It just always works. That's why I'm giving you this video. I want you to understand it. So let's go to the first way to use the big bill. This is the OG way that we originally came up with this. I've already mentioned it. It was home shows. Now, here's the thing about home shows. When people are walking around the home show, what they're trying to do is avoid at all costs making eye contact with anybody, because home shows, you have so many booths, there's so many people, but you can't afford to take the time to look at them all. So if you're one of the participants that's walking around, you know, you kind of just keep your eyes down and you like just kind of glance surreptitiously at the booths to see if you want to make, you know, some kind of contact with them. There's just not enough time in the day, so you're going to avoid eye contact with the vendors. Of course, this is a problem because if you're standing there in the aisles and people are trying to come, you want people to come to your booth, they're trying not to come to your booth. So what do? You do this stuff like you get candy. Maybe you've got like, like a slot machine. machine, or you like spin the wheel or something like that. You're trying to get people in and they're trying to hustle past you. So here's a better idea. Use the big bill. So when people are walking by, here's what you're going to do. You're going to have one of two things on your big bill. Either an amount of a discount that you'd like to give people who are attending the home show, or an amount that's equivalent to the amount that you're going to give away as doing a home improvement giveaway, a sweepstakes. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to do a giveaway. I'm telling you that if you do one, then you can make the bill the same denomination of whatever it is you're giving away. So let's say you're doing 5 or a $10,000 home improvement giveaway, something like that. Then you would create a $5,000 or a $10,000 bill. Or maybe you just want to stick to the offer that you have for the home show. So maybe you're giving away $2,000 off a bathroom or windows or whatever it is for anybody that comes to the home show. So you create a $2,000 bill. Look, I'm telling you, when people see these things, they go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They can't help themselves. They want to see it. They want to touch it. They want to get their hands on it. So here's what happens when somebody walks by your booth. You extend the bill in their direction. Here's my $1,000 bill. Now, this one, again, on the other side is just a sample. So on this side, you need to have your identity stuff, okay? But here's what you say. Hey, I'd like to give you $2,000. And they look over and they see this giant in this case, $1,000 bill. And I just want you to know, and again, just realize that from a color and design standpoint, it looks exactly like a mammoth, huge dollar bill. A $100 bill, because it's, what was that? Ben Franklin, the $100 guy. That's why they call him Benjamins. So you say, hey, I'd like to give you $2,000. And they're like, hey, what are you talking about? And it interrupts their pattern and it makes them forget their normal reaction, which is rejection, okay? Oh, I'm not interested. I just want to keep walking. So now at least they're going to stop. They want to know what this dadgum giant $2,000 bill is. It stops them in their tracks. And then when they say, well, what's that? You flip it over and you've got your identity on the other side. Yeah, we're giving away $2,000 to anybody that buys windows today at the home show. Let me ask you this. How old are the windows in your home right now? What are they made of? Have you thought about replacing your windows? Do you feel like your energy bills are too high? You go straight into what I call the qualification questions. You extend this sucker out. Hey, I want to give you $2,370. Hey, I'd like to give you $19 or $88, whatever the amount is. I'd like to give you $10,000. Okay? It breaks their state. It breaks the ice. And they say, hey, what's that all about? Okay? So if it's let's say you're doing the sweepstakes. Oh, we're giving away $5,000 whole house of windows. It's a giveaway. Whatever the case is, whatever connects to the amount, to the denomination of your bill, then start asking the qualification questions. Again, how long have you owned your home? How old are the windows? Are the windows original to the home? Have you thought about replacing your windows? Do you feel like your energy bills are tight? Do you hear any air coming through or drafts in the winter? Whatever your qualification questions are. Not to stray off topic, but remember, the purpose of the qualification questions is to start a conversation, to gauge for interest and urgency. If you start asking the qualification questions and they sort of, back off like they're not interested and they don't want to talk to you, their heads down, then, just let them go. But this thing works. The big bill works fantastically. We've seen huge results with the big bill at home shows. Try it. Just try it. Okay, so we're going to move to number 2. How else could we use the big bill? How about canvassing? Canvassing is harder than a home show. At the home show, at least people have to walk by your booth and they're there at the home show for the express purpose of at least talking to somebody about something. That's why they showed up. But when you're canvassing, you're out knocking on people's doors. You're really just annoying the heck out of them. That's what you're doing. So you've got to find some kind of a way to break the ice and break the pattern. I think people wish they had sort of an ejector button. So when you knock on the door, you just, hit the button on your phone or something, or a big red button in your house, and either, a spring launches you back out onto the street, or a trap door opens, you drop down into alligators, crocodiles, whatever. Okay. I think that's what people wish they had when you were knocking on their door. So here's what you've got to do. You got to break the ice, man. You've got to break that state of them thinking only one thing, which is how on earth do I get rid of this loser who's interrupting Wheel of Fortune right now? So here's what you do. You knock on the door, then you take 2 steps back. Now, why is it 2 steps? Because it's less threatening and intimidating if you're not all up in their business, but you've got this thing called the big bill. Now, here's what you do. When they open the door, you extend the big bill and you say, hey, I'd like to give you $1,000 or whatever your denomination is, and you hand it to them. Now, I'm going to explain something here that I did not explain before. I failed to do this, so I'm going to do it right now because it's really strong. When you hand somebody the big bill, you motion to them, you extend it in their direction, and there's an instinct that people will reach out their hand to take whatever it is that you're handing them. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works a lot. I haven't done a scientific experiment. Let's pretend like I did. It's 73.7% of the time when you extend the big bill, they automatically reach their hand out to take it, okay? Why don't you try to prove me wrong by going out and knocking, not a couple, how about a bunch of people's doors, go to a home show, hand people these things and see what happens. You're going to see they take their hand and they stick it out. Okay, now in a door knocking situation, it's going to work less well than in a home show environment. However, it's still going to work pretty well. So you knock on the door, you ring the doorbell, whatever, you take 2 steps back, they open the door, you can see that look on their face. They're like, oh crap, why did I even come to the door? I hate my life. I want to get rid of this person. Where's the ejector button? But then you extend it to them. You're like, hey, I'd like to give you $1,000. Boom! Boom! You broke their state. Now they're engaged. And they say, oh, well, what's that all about? Oh, well, we're giving $2,000 off anybody that replaces their roof. We're giving $2,000 off anybody who remodels their kitchen with us. Hey, your neighbors just remodeled their kitchen with us and we'd like to give you $2,000 off as well. Okay, this is a major upgrade in your canvassing game. I'm not saying that you can't use whatever canvassing script you're using now, but use this to break the ice. And you think, okay, that sounds pretty cute and that sounds pretty nice and nice, whatever, Rich, but we have a whole different process. It already works better. Here's my challenge. If you're already a company that does canvassing, go get some big bills, print them up. I get 500 of them. Just try it. This is a way to get people to freaking talk to you for half a second before they sick their Rottweilers on you, okay? So see if you can use this thing, this big bill, and get it to work. I've used the big bill with tremendous success with my clients in all different situations. It just flat out works. All right, so we've got home shows and canvassing. That's the first two things. The next thing, the third thing, is also an in-person situation. Duh. Use the big bill in in-store promotion. I was at a Home Depot recently. I hate Home Depot. I can't stand going in there. Home improvement. It's weird. I do home improvement marketing, but I can't stand to actually improve my own home. Anyway, I'm a marketing guy. I don't like being Home Depot. I make my wife fix stuff. Here's what was happening. I was in there looking these, what do you call those, fluorescent light bulbs, those long ones I have, trying to figure out which was the right one. I was just standing there. This guy walks by, and it's a guy that works at the Home Depot, and he says, hey, are you finding everything okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm finding everything okay, whatever. And then he says something to me like, hey, have you had your air conditioner tuned up? Something about the air conditioner tuned up. But I'm thinking, I'm trying to buy a freaking light bulb here, dude. What are you bothering me about my daggum air conditioner? Yet there he is talking to me in the light bulb aisle about my air conditioner. And I thought, this has got to be painful for everybody. First, it's got to suck for this guy because everybody hates him. As soon as he talks to them, he's interrupting them, he's bothering them, he's adding no value, trying to sell them something. And it's definitely painful for the people that are being asked about their daggum air conditioner. So instead, why not use a big bill? I mean, in-store promotions, right? Next time when he interrupts me, he can say, hey, I'd like to give you $2,000. And then the person's going to say, well, what's this all about? It's because the big bill, nobody can resist the big bill, okay? Then you've got to explain that you got a $2,000 promo towards whatever it is, a new air conditioning system. Maybe you flip it over and it's $88 for a tune-up, whatever it is. Do you see how this works? It's a tool that is designed to break people's patterns of trying to get rid of you because they hate you, okay? So that they'll actually talk to you. You can use it in a home show. You can use it while you're canvassing. You can use it in in-store promotions. I go to Costco all the time, and when you're leaving Costco, they always got these guys that are standing there. You know that row of stuff, like as you're waiting to get out, there's like flooring and cruises and air conditioners. Who knows what kind of stuff they got going on in there. And I've never seen one time a guy with a big bill. If they had a big bill, it would work so much better. I guess they just haven't watched this video yet. What about you? You got a promotion at Costco or BJ's or something like that? Use the big bill. It's like magic. It's like magic with a capital M magic. You're going to love this thing. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever used any kind of oversized promotional item in your marketing? Maybe a giant check or a huge coupon or something else that really grabbed people's attention? Drop me a comment below and let me know what worked for you. Or let me know if you're planning on trying the big bill strategy. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, speaking of capital M, let's go to number 4, which is for mailers. Okay, here's something about mailing that's worth knowing. It's called Every Door Direct Mail, EDDM. Have you heard of that before? EDDM, Every Door Direct Mail, is cheap direct mail. Why is it cheap? Because as the name would suggest, the post office delivers your piece to every door direct mail within a specified carrier route. So here's what happens. The post office gives you a discounted rate because they don't have to sort your mail other than saying, here, give this to every mailbox in a certain carrier route. It's a lot easier for the post office to deal with, hence it's cheaper. And it costs the same amount per delivery no matter how large the postcard is. Now, they won't deliver a 17-inch by 7.3-inch big bill, okay? The biggest EDDM piece that you can use legally according to the United States Postal Service is 12 by 15 inches, okay? So then all we got to do is make this slightly less big. So we would cut it down to 15 inches. I don't want to fold this again, but you get the idea, right? So fold that down to 15 inches. And then to make it proportionally right, then it would have to be 6.38 inches. That's just algebra, okay? To keep the right proportions. And I think it's important to keep the right proportions. It's part of the charm. It's really uncanny. But if you send out this every door direct mail, let's say you send it out to 10,000 people. Now, 10,000 people are going to get this massive bill in their mailbox. And it's going to be like, holy crap, a $44 bill. What's this all about? Oh, $44 off a tune-up. That sounds pretty interesting. Oh, what's this $2,000 bill that I just got in the mail? It's actually $1,000. They're giving $2,000 off a roofing job, any siding job, window job, whatever it is that you happen to be peddling, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Why not use this thing in your direct mail? Give it a try. I'm actually going to do some tests with some of my clients. I'll let you know how it goes. I've got one in particular that spends millions of dollars a year on direct mail. We're doing this really cool Where's Waldo hidden object direct mail. I'll let you know about that on a different video. But for now, why don't you try it and I'll try it. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go on to the last way. 5 out of 5 ways to use the big bill in your marketing. First, home shows, then canvassing, then in-store promotions, then direct mail. Here's where we're going to go next for the 5th thing. Use it with your brand ambassador. Now, when I'm talking about a brand ambassador, I'm talking about a person that goes in after the job is complete, who makes sure that everything went okay, does a survey, gives a gift card, card, gives a gift basket, then they get photographs of the job, they take photographs of the happy customers, they get online reviews. That's the brand ambassador's job. But the brand ambassador has another job, which is to go around and canvass the job site neighborhood. Let's say maybe 25 homes, something like that. Now, we've already covered canvassing. Get your brand ambassador out there canvassing with the $44 bill or the $2,370 bill or $2,000 bill, whatever it is. Your brand ambassador could also use the big bill in place of the gift card. Imagine that the brand ambassador walks in with a $2,000 bill or a $1,000 bill and says, and I'm talking about talking to your customer, and says, here's what I want to do. I want to offer you this $2,000 bill that's good towards any future job, and it expires, whatever, 6 or 12 months from now. You can write that on the back. And then you can say something like this. You can also transfer this $2,000 bill to anybody that you know that also might need a bathroom remodel. Do you know anybody? Do you have any friends or family or coworkers in the area that might be a good fit for this, that needs their bathroom remodeled? You can give this to them. And now they've got this freaking giant bill, $2,370 off, whatever the number is. And you can say, look, just give this to somebody else. And then they can start passing these suckers out on your behalf. Okay? So here's the key. And what I want you to do, I want you to take the big bill idea and I want you to find creative ways to implement it into your business. Whether it's home shows, canvassing, direct mail, whether it's in-store promotion or your brand ambassador, I think it's going to work for you. In fact, I know it's going to work for you because the big bill always works. It never fails. Okay, now before you go, if you found this helpful, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any future videos or podcasts. Click the bell icon so you'll be notified when our next video comes. And remember, you can listen to me every day on the Level 10 Contractor Daily Podcast, found on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcast. Thanks for listening today. Let's do it, man. Let's use the big bill.